Have you ever heard the saying, more is more? Well, when I asked our guest on the Real Finfluencers today, that's Greg Fuhrer, CEO of Beratung Advisors, I said, what is your secret to video marketing success? Wait. Before we dive into the conversation with today's guest, welcome to the Real Finfluencers, a podcast born from our original video series spotlighting financial professionals who are using video to grow their business and their influence. Here's something you should know. Most of these guests aren't Idea Decanter clients. They've built their digital presence from the ground up, and they're here to share exactly how they did it. I'm your host, Laura Garfield, co-founder of Idea Decanter, and my goal is simple: help you discover strategies you can actually use. Steal what works, get inspired, and find your own unique brand of Finfluence. Now let's get into it. What is your secret to video marketing success? And he said, creating content constantly. Keep doing it over and over. Greg, it sounds exhausting.
It is, but if you sometimes I'm like, I actually get paid to do this. If you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life. That's not because you don't work. It's because you actually love doing it. So I think in some people's brain, it's exhausting, but it actually energizes me. And actually my biggest complaint when I'm trying to figure out is to create more time in my schedule to produce more content. So we consistently produce content on Tuesdays. We have that marked on the calendar, but the last few Tuesdays, I had a conference that took me out on a Tuesday, a couple other things that put it off there, but it actually energizes me. So it's not exhausting for me.
Greg's tip number one, calendar it out. Certainly helps you stick to a content plan. Before we get to some of the cool things you're doing, and I want to show off some of your platforms because you have over 400 videos posted on single platforms. You have created a ton of content out there. I want to talk about results because if you're calendaring out Tuesdays, you're creating that many videos, what are you seeing on the business side of it? What's the business case for you with video marketing?
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing about video marketing is you can't go old school and you can't say an exact number, because how do you tell me it came from video marketing? See, this is the problem. People want to know the exact results. Any exact results I give you, I'm making up the numbers. What I can tell you is the growth of our business since we started doing it. And this is what I mean by it's the intangibles that you can't get down to. So the meeting prior to this, the first thing I started out with, they talked about a video that they had saw online from me. Just this weekend, I get a Facebook message with somebody I used to work with 10 years ago and was just like, hey, I had a question about e-money and working in a firm. And I Googled, I found you. And it was just like, they reached out to me and we reconnected. Maybe they join my firm, maybe they don't. And so I think the thing we got to remember is we know in traditional marketing, it takes 7 times before somebody takes action. And I think in today's day and age, that number is 14. When was the last time you ran into somebody you haven't seen in a while? I just went to my high school's homecoming. My niece was on homecoming court. Ran a bunch of people I haven't seen in a while, right? It's homecoming. Hey, we should reconnect. Let's go grab a beer. And you meet it, but you don't do it. You know what I do it to me? Because I'm the person who pulls up my phone. Let me give you my calendar here. Let's set the date right now. And if we have to cancel, let's do it over again. You have every intention to be that person, but you don't do it. Just like you have every intention to be with a financial planner, but you don't do it. So I think what the thing is, social media and video marketing is the modern billboard. And so that person that came to you that watched your video, it's just wearing them down. So when they get a referral, they're more likely to take action. So that referral I got, now this I like to ask, when somebody's referred to me and they call me and say, I'm here because Laura referred me. And I ask this question, sounds great. Had you ever heard of us before that? Oh yeah, I see your videos all the time. Okay, would that person have gone through with that referral? The other thing I love about it, and this is the one that I think that is true. We have about 90% of our clients come to the door are qualified. We don't use some pre-qualification. We don't make them pay for an appointment or a question meeting, because when you do video content, they already know what I'm there for. Like they are already bought in to what our firm's about because they've seen so much video content that it's like there's that trust level. Stephen Covey has a great book called The Speed of Trust. All it does is narrows my speed of trust.
Well, when I asked you out of all of the platforms, which stands out for you? You, without hesitation, said LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And I want to talk a little bit about why you believe LinkedIn is the place for advisors.
So there's twofold. For me personally, we work with busy working professionals. So the clients that we target are typically 35 to 55. They're typically married. They're typically 2 W-2 income earners. They typically have 2 children. They typically value experiences over wealth, right? So that could mean that they want a second home. It could mean they want to travel more. So our target market lives on LinkedIn. That's the first reason. But the second reason, you got to go back to why Microsoft purchased LinkedIn and what's happened to social media with Meta and a different culture. I am on a board of directors of a nonprofit. We used to be, I just finished my term up there. And I go out of the way to like everything they put on Facebook, yet I don't see all their posts on Facebook. Because you have to buy the views in Meta's world, whether it's Instagram, TikTok is still a organic platform, which is part of what led to its success. But LinkedIn's the last traditional one that's still an organic platform. So in other words, if I just do great content and people like it and people comment on it, and I play around with some of the algorithms, I can get views without paying for it. That right there, for a financial planner that's trying to grow their book of business, is the most important. Other reason why, there's the main two, there's a third reason why. And this kind of leaves that organic thing. The people that are scrolling LinkedIn are, majority of them, trying to improve and growth-oriented persons. People that are scrolling Facebook, scrolling Instagram, scrolling TikTok are more being, as we would call it in Pittsburgh, nebby. Right now, nebby, it means nosy in Pittsburghese. They're nebby in other people's lives. They're trying to figure out what's going on. It's like kind of somebody that's reading like a tabloid column and just trying to figure out the gossip. So they're not as quick to take action on something to improve their lives.
When it comes to the content you're posting, whether it's on LinkedIn or I'm going to share your YouTube channel also, is there a specific topic, a kind of video, something you're sharing that seems to do better?
Yeah, so it's constantly ever evolving, right? So like we used to have this big professional intro that we paid all this money for, and now it's like intros, you lose somebody. That 3 seconds, right? We keep shortening it to it. You got to get the hook within the first 3 seconds. But my general rule of thumb is, people always say, well, you should have a video less than 3 minutes. Now it's less than 1:30. Now it's getting less than a minute. But I always like to use the example of Michael Kitces. Michael Kitces is somebody I follow religiously, and I think most of the people who listen are fans of his work. His executive summary is longer than what a blog should be, yet it's one of the most read blogs in our profession. So all the rules about how long a video should be, it has to be engaging content. It has to be, I believe business exists for one reason only, and that's to solve people's problems. It's the same as a video. What problem of mine are you going to solve? The more specific you are, if you show up at a networking event and you say, I'm a financial planner, I help people create financial plans, you're not going to get a lot of referrals. But if you're like, I work with busy working professionals that boom, 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 boom. One of my clients I got because I was in this season ticket for baseball. All these years we had season tickets together. And he asked me one day, like, who I work with. He sent me an email next day. He says, I got chills down my spine because you described me to a T. I have 2 children. I have that income, like everything. He's like, I'm going to leave my advisor and work with you because you work with people like me. That's how your video content has to be. And because of that, you just need to create more content. Do long form and do short form. Take the long form, don't work harder, work smarter, and micro content. We try to micro content everything. So we try to take, I have some things that are 1.5 hour long video, the history of Beratung. It's actually 3 hours. We split it into 2 parts. And guess what? It has a lot of views because people that care about our company want to know the history of our company. But we've also micro content and taken the pieces out of there in 30-second segments. Because if you watch enough 30-second segments, you can watch the long form. And one last thing I'd like to say about this. I love reading leadership books. Okay. I think we're in September. I think I'm already above 70 for the year. Love growth and development books. Almost every single one of those people's books I read that I pay money for, I could get the same information for free on YouTube from the same speaker or their podcast. But I don't want to listen to podcasts. I want the long form of it. So I willingly pay. Plus, they're adding so much value to my life. It's a small donation for them to create more content. I just believe in them. And that's what users do. I don't think it's just the small form. The small form leads to them wanting a bigger meal. Give them the appetizer so they want the whole meal.
Yeah, I think when you're weighing how long should my content be, you have to think about that lead funnel. And as people discover you, as they are more bought in, as they learn more about you, then their tolerance for longer format content is higher. So if you think about those long form blogs that Michael Kitces is putting out, the executive summary is more words than most people put into an entire blog article. Well, that's because his audience is already bought in. They're already interested in what he has to say. Same with video. If you're trying to reach the top of the funnel, more of the brand awareness, it needs to be short and sweet and have that 3-second hook that Greg talked about, because that's where you lose them. Don't start with that fancy, highly produced show open. Get straight to the what's in it for me.
If you worry about offending people, your stuff's not going to get viewed. There's this famous Howard Stern movie, Private Parts, back in like the 90s. I always remember there's this one scene from this, and the guy's like, what about the people that hate him? They listen longer. Why? Because they want to hear what he has to say. I'm not saying to be a shock jock. I'm not saying to go out there and say things that are offensive, but like, you have to make a point. Don't just be like this washed down water, like you could do an IRA or you could do a Roth. No, tell me the answer, especially today's world. If I am going to spend 30 seconds or 60 seconds or a minute or 30 minutes of my time, I want an actionable thing to take away. That's not giving blanket advice, right? We can't do that in our profession, but just give me advice. Don't be, I think it's where like the videos get so watered down, is because people are so afraid of compliance and they don't say anything, right? They're just hot air.
Greg's tip, take a stand. People want to see you take a stand. You're not going to be for everyone, and that is okay. One last thing, Greg. I believe I met you a couple of years ago at an FPA chapter leaders conference, and you were sharing some of the things, kind of the cutting edge or revolutionary things that Beratung Advisors was doing with video, because it's not all just about educational content. You were having some fun too. Can you tell me about a project that's close to your heart that you've produced that was something a little unexpected?
Yeah, I'll tell you that some of our most viewed videos have been us just imitating TikTok trends. So one of the ones was, and I told our chief brand officer, I hate watch them, when there was a trend for a while called "Of course," right? We're Beratung Advisors. Of course we do this. Well, we have a really unique culture. Like, we do a lot of weird things, right? And we're known for it across the profession. Like, people in other states would be like, oh, Beratung Advisors, they're weird. Like, they do this, this, and this, right? So we did a video like "Of course," and it was one of the most viewed videos because it's humor. And I think that's the thing, is we are a profession that takes themselves too serious. So we started to do a lot of fun things, like we're known in Pittsburgh for being yinzers. That's like a bad term. And we say yins a lot in our videos. Hey, did yins know that you might be losing out on tax savings by not giving highly appreciated stocks to your charities, and kind of saying in a yinzer voice? And guess what? People laugh. They find it humorous. They like it. So I think that anything you can do to make yourself humorous, and anything you can do to engage your clients. So one of the things that we've done is we do Beratung Travels. We send out every year. It started like coming out of COVID. Let's get back to travel. We send out luggage tags. Well, then all of a sudden on social media, we feature our clients. And what we're trying to get clients to do is to help make a video montage of all our clients' travels and talking about that. So right now it's in the picture format, but we're trying to get it to video format. Another way we try to engage clients is just talking to them about their stories. So one of the things I share with you, we do what's called generational memories. And so we engage our clients to come in and tell their life story, and we record that and capture it. And then we also allow them to bring their children in to watch the video. And now all of a sudden we talk about this. And the question I was going to say is, by the way, do you know all 8 of your great grandparents' names?
I do know all the way to my great grandparents' names.
I've asked that question probably 100 times in the last 6 months, and you're the first person ever said that.
Well, there's a lot of family treeing going on in my family.
But most people don't. The reality is 90% of America, within 3 generations, your name is wiped from the face of this earth. And when you think about it, you're not really truly dead until someone can't whisper your name on this earth. But the ultra wealthy is not. It's like, I'm Greg Fura the 19th, and my great granddaddy founded this farm, and he did this and this and this. And you're like, oh wait, what? And so it gets lost on the normal middle class, but it doesn't get lost on the ultra wealthy class. So how do we preserve our memories? And that's why they continue to grow wealth, is because wealth is all about knowledge. And that's the reason why within 3 generations, your wealth is lost. How many clients out there say, I want to pass money on the next generation, and it's gone within 3 generations because they didn't pass on the wisdom. So that's one of our things that we're trying to do. Not only just record our team, but how can we record our clients? And that brings our clients in our space, allows us to use our equipment, allows us to show our expertise, and add a lot of value at no cost to them.
What a beautiful gift for your client's family. Such a good idea, Greg. And remember, if Greg can do it, you can do it too. If you need some help building authority and growing your practice with video, that's what we do at Idea Decanter. Oh, one more thing. If you're not already part of Idea Decanter's Real Finfluencer community, now's your chance to join us. Head to ideadecanter.com/join, and you'll be in. You'll get early access to advisor video tips, invites to exclusive events, and behind-the-scenes insights that you won't find on Google or even on ChatGPT. Whether you're just video curious or already knee-deep in content creation, this is the place to grow your influence with video. Don't miss out. And thanks so much for listening to The Real Finfluencers.